Amazing evening. Sincere apologies for starting so late today. So I had a major crisis today. Incidentally, the major guest I also have today, one of my major guests, called Igemari, it's unavoidably absent on the show today. So that series is supposed to get with her. We will push up to another day, and I will let you in on the particular day we will get that conversation. However, we'll have a few other guests with us in the house today. We could join us to break down some conversations we see they happen, especially as it surround these plenty killings and where they happen for us. And this I guess the way we see you go enjoy the conversation well. But make I just quickly let on know the things that really happen for town. Welcome to the show. This now updated pressures. Another beautiful day to talk about things really happen for the country of Nigeria. And so the Western and I say we'll continue to the talk to make sure say our country better. So we could begin break down some things really happen. Sharply make up for no waste on our time too much. So beginning the conversation as this evening, federal government can announce to us say, the 24 abducted Kebbi Schoolgirls, they don't miraculously regain freedom. Did you hear the word miraculously? Now, you may be wondering why that word, but I'm going to let you in on that. Don't worry. Cool your temper. But make we go on. And President Bola Tinubu don't react to, jolly say, they don't gain freedom. I'll let you in on waiting they talk to. And then Nigerian government don't ban open grazing to end farmer. What's in they call farmer headers clash conflicts. I don't know if you understand me. The Nigerian government finally ban open grazing. That is the federal government of Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu, by the way, don't finally ban open grazing. According to them, to end waiting them term as farmers headers conflicts. But most people they talk saying that to end genocide, because whether you like them or not, now this open grazing they lead to wrongful encroachments and land grabbing and killings where they happen anyhow. Where people go enter inside people community, kill people, chase them away from their community, inherit their lands. And I do hope that the federal government will also do what they can to reclaim the lands, the communities where BC people don't run away from because of this kind of things. And when they come back to that conversation, we're calming school attacks aimed at denying Nigerian children access to education. IGP9, they talk that one. Nigerian government don't launch online classes for secondary school students. I like when we embrace tech. We embrace tech too much. So they don't launch online classes for secondary school students. So we'll look at how that one will use go, especially for our public schools. It is very important because it is easy to launch. Government, private schools we cope, but the government schools will call how they go use cope. Insecurity. Tinubu orders 24-hour aerial cordon on Kwara, Kebbi, and Niger State. Police move against bandits, insurgents in Kaduna. Launch clearance operation. Not be small fight. Armed attack disrupts church crusade in Nasarawa community. You see, they happen now. And then guess what? Say some attack been happened yesterday evening. We will never talk about that. For Ekiti, for inside Kwara State. We could go back to that conversation. So Kwara update: 17 abducted, including family of a man who paid 2 million naira ransom. Then Babam again, be like son of family get money, can't collect again. This is the kind of thing we see. Now, in all of these abductions when they happen, say, especially as it gets to do with the release of the church people then, and the other 50 children were run away from the Niger State kidnap or St. Mary's Catholic Church kidnap. So people come they ask Ogabaya Nonoga, I mean presidents generally or the presidency, how did these people escape? Or how were you able to secure their release, which you announced? Well, by your Nonoga, where they put smart for talk for President Bola Tinubu don't talk. Say DSSO, military, they tracked, they pressured the bandits to make sure they press their neck, press them well, to make sure they free 38 Kwara school, 38 Kwara church worshippers. Now, according to waiting EBC, by your Nonoga talk, Tinubu's government complicit in war against its people. The kinetic Donley, now they talk down. Why talk? I'm gonna let you know. Protect Nigerians against terrorists. Stop abdicating your responsibilities. Anglican bishop tells leaders. And then tomorrow matter we be say day ground. Make I see I'm sharply. All right. So Catholic bishop says delayed security response to attacks gives impression of collusion. That is one on a delay. When federal government delay before it be say then respond to attacks, it make can look like say una no where one they deliberately they delay so that the people will finish the operation. That means una join hand with them. Do you understand? Shegumi don't say I go lead amnesty push for Nnamdi Kanu if he shows remorse. If he repents, we'll go lead amnesty for him. Okay. And then 8 kidnapped. I'm talking about that. So let me just leave that and go straight to more issues. 8 kidnapped as bandits attack Kanu communities despite early warning to security operators in the area. Despite any early warning to security operatives, 8 people have been kidnapped in another attack in Kano State. Hey, the hotel. Now, terrorist raid Kwara community abducts pregnant woman, 10 children, nursing mothers, not mother, mothers, where they give picking breast for inside the Kitty local government area of Kwara State. These things looks like we'll never see the end to the comment to these issues. Now, terrorists invade Kwara community, abduct 10 residents. Police have also confirmed that. And then civil groups ask Nigerian government to crack down on terrorism financiers, tackle insecurity. You can't tell who is header or bandit. They will not know their difference. They be the same people. So Eruku Monarch for inside Kwara don't lament how bandits infiltrated roaming herdsmen. That is the bandit joined together with the herdsmen. Maybe because of say they feel say they be kinsmen, they joined together with them. Why? You see, this is the reason why they've been calling them Mieti Allah. So and I suppose identify those where they bad among them now. So let's go back to Ojo Okalo's case, by the way. As Senator Ojo Okalo is one of the conspirators with Tinubu government to imprison Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto State. Now, who talked this one? Now, IPOB the talker. Say, follow conspire to make sure that they imprison Nnamdi Kanu. Don't mind them more. If follow. Nnamdi Kanu's special counsel says Nigerian government erred by using repealed terrorism law for life sentence. And then Lagos home demolition, burning leaves 2 children. Sorry, Lagos home demolition, burning leaves 2 children homeless at Oronsheki while parents are at work. Wow. Born house, owners no day, 2 children don't they homeless. FCT orders early closure of senior secondary schools over security concerns. And then alleged 4 billion naira fraud. Court adjourns ex-Anambra governor Willie Obiano's case indefinitely. In case you don't understand, they say it hit 4 billion. Now waiting make them be defined them. You understand? So court don't come talk. Say, you know what? No could just push your case to go to forever. Now forever and ever now we'll go answer you. So in that case, it's like we free you. Don't worry about it. That's what you mean. But I don't know. While killings and kidnappings rock Nigeria, Tinubu prioritizes party politics, names Uzodinma renewed Hope ambassador. Okay, court remands man for allegedly cyber bullying Ebonyi rep member. So you see, person go cyber bully you, go find them when they catch them, arrest them, Abby. But bandits then wait on TikTok will not arrest them. Does it even make sense? Just make it make sense. Make it make sense. Now, NNPC report shows Tinubu government spent 7.1 trillion naira on subsidies in 2024, captured as energy security expense. So, in other words, we are still paying subsidy, even with what we are going through. Well, Nigerians, this and other matter we're going to look into this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to be with you and bring on the matter with the hot for inside the country. I thought my guest has just joined just now. What happened? Oh dear. Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Okay. Oh my. Okay. So let's see. If the network is so bad, I may have to have a phone conversation. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. Then let's see. I don't know why this is going on, but let's just get started very quickly. So I don't take your time too much. The night is already fast spent. So let's begin with the cheerful news of the release and the miraculous release of the young school children. So the 24 schoolgirls abducted from Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, MAGA, in Kebbi State have regained their freedom. Reliable government and security sources confirmed that the development today, Tuesday. So sources told newsmen that the girls were rescued early today and are transported to the government house in Brenin Kebbi for medical examination and debriefing. I hope they haven't soon and should be so fast already. Well, joining us inside the studio is Zaria Yusuf. Zaria Yusuf, thank you so much for joining us. I do hope the network can allow us hear you. Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much. Zaria, can you hear me? Okay. Are you? Yes, you are audible. I can hear you. I hope you can hear me too.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, great. So it's with a lot of joy that we heard or will welcome the news of the release, the miraculous release of the 24 girls from Kebbi State. How do you find this story? How does it make you feel? Do you feel that the pressure from, in fact, we can speak English? You think say the pressure from the US don't make our government sit up, begin do what they're supposed to, or you think say they never stay there as truthful or as transparent as they should be? This network no go let us, so our village people. Oh, well, let me go back to that story. When I finish, perhaps we'll look for a way to have a phone conversation, because this network no be a matter. Now, so the girls we heard have been freed. They are on their way to the state house, government house. People who never enter government house before. Oh, excuse me. Although the rescue has been confirmed, details of how the schoolgirls were freed had not been made available as at the time of filming, of course, or at the time of reporting. So, security sources, however, said the breakthrough followed intensified joint operations involving military, police, vigilantes, and intelligence teams across forest routes in the area. The students were abducted, of course, on November 17, when gunmen enter inside their school, go back all of them. Make I just play a video of their release, make you see how excited the kids were.
Okay, Bismillah.
My name is Zainab Polo from SS3A.
Okay, student of.
GGC.
Okay, Bismillah.
My name is Zainab Polo from SS3A.
Okay, student of.
GGC Ismail Dabash.
Okay, number 1 Kenanko.
Yes.
You?
Fatima Sanism from SS2A.
Mm-hmm.
From GGC Ismail.
Okay, number what?
3.
Uh-huh.
Mariam Usman.
Okay,
JSS3A.
okay, you?
Salima Sanism.
Okay,
SS3A.
number what?
Number 5.
Oh, number 4.
4.
You number
6.
number 5.
Number 5.
Mhm.
That was SS3A.
Okay, who is the next number?
6.
Okay, your name? Mm-hmm. The next number? Number what?
Number 7.
Uh-huh.
Najat Abdullah from SS3.
Okay.
Mariam Elias.
Call your number first. Number what?
Number 8.
Uh-huh.
Mariam Elias from SS3A.
Uh-huh. Next one.
Number 9.
Uh-huh.
Amina Elias from SS3A.
Uh-huh. Number.
Number 10. Jamila Elias from SS3A.
Uh-huh.
Number 11.
Uh-huh.
Number 8.
Number 12.
Number 12.
Uh-huh. Stand up. Uh-huh. Class. Uh-huh. Next one. 13. Who is 13? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Who is 14?
14. Salima Garba Umar SS3A.
Uh-huh. 15. Number 16. Okay, 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. Is there another person? Is there just 24 of you?
Yes.
Okay, today's date is 25th of November.
Yes.
And the time now is 10 minutes to 6. So God's willing, you'll be going home free. Inshallah.
Wow, wow, interesting, right? How exciting. Say these children, they now regain their freedom. And it's such a thing of joy to have them rejoin their families. I mean, after they couldn't get through the normal funfair for inside government house, perhaps after then they can't go back, go rejoin their families. What a very cheerful news. So I mean, these are all joy for a lot of people. Just to celebrate this, President Bola Tinubu has welcomed the release of the 24 schoolgirls abducted by terrorists. The president, in fact, let make I even read within a BC by Anonoga put up by himself so that it doesn't look like I am perhaps adding my own pepper and salt and maggi inside as they talk for inside Nigeria. All right, so that's it. By another media announcement this evening, that the president is reacting to. So Bayo, the spokesman to the president, said that Tinubu has applauded the security agents for their efforts in securing freedom for all the victims taken away by the terrorists. He further tasked the security agencies to intensify efforts to rescue the remaining students still being held captive. In fact, he said, I am relieved that all the 24 girls have been accounted for. Now we must put, as a matter of urgency, more boots on the ground in the vulnerable areas to avert further incidents of kidnapping, Tinubu said. My government will offer all the assistance needed to achieve this. So while we're very excited about this news, very, very, very excited about this news, for the first time in a long time, we get, this such swift action from our government to make sure they do everything necessary to release kidnapped people. What people they always wonder, is it not the responsibility of the government to be transparent to us, to tell us how exactly they secure their release? How exactly did they release the how? Okay, for the first time, for the school, the church people, 38 church members and the 50 students, children, we run away from the Niger State. They asked government consistently. Government could not at least give us a very tangible, how a proper plan how they release these people. So how possible is it that we release people and then nobody, none of the bandits and we hear say they injured? None of them when we hear say, okay, they arrest, parade them, show us, say, see, and them be this. No. And none of them will be say we hear say they kill. How is it that kind of operation will take place and nobody died? You know, kill any of the bandits or terrorists? See, these are questions we be say people they ask. And the way we be say successive administrations for inside Nigeria don't they do things, then they lead to this trust deficit from the people. Then make I go play you.
First of all, what can you tell us about how
by another yesterday while he was reacting to how the 38 church members were released? Take a listen before I get back to my
First of all, what can you tell us about how the 38 worshippers at that church in Eruku, Kwara State were rescued?
Well, I think after the incident happened and the DSS and the military were involved in the rescue efforts, I think they got in contact with the bandits to release those people unarmed. And I think finally on Sunday, they were able to get them out unarmed.
So they basically know who they are.
Well,
and, because when you say rescue them,
yeah,
did they actually
the security
physically
people,
go there and get them out?
The security people, well, at the risk of revealing how they do their work, they do have a way of tracking these people.
Right.
So they know what's going on at any point in time. What sometimes restrains them from going after them is the risk of collateral damage.
Of course.
They go about abducting our people and they use them as shield so that they will not be attacked. So they don't just want to be attacking them, they need to be sure that they are not using our people as a kind of a shield.
But if the government did not attack them in order to rescue these people, how did they get them released? Because, it seems almost...
They got in contact with them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it seems almost perverse for the people to abduct people and then a few days later release them.
They have a way of contacting them.
You mean they paid them money?
Not paying them. They know the risk. If they keep those people with them and they're saying release them, they know that the next thing will be for the government to embark on a kinetic action and attack their base.
Yeah, but they killed people.
But
at
that's
the
risky.
church.
But that's risky.
That makes
if
them
you attack their
criminals.
base, you can kill those
No, I
victims.
understand that.
Yeah.
But I mean, what people are curious to know, because it is not the government who are directly under threat, it's the people. And the people have to know how you go about doing these things in order to shore up their own defense.
I think that's left for the security people to discover. What I know is that they contacted them to release those they have abducted.
And they just acquiesced, did they?
Because they know the consequence of not acquiescing to a government demand, that they should release, let those people go, so that, because they know that the consequence is that the government will come and pummel them.
But does that mean that some kind of a deal was done then to say, because I mean those people killed people, so technically they are, I mean, they should be arrested, tried and prosecuted and face the full wrath of the law.
The first thing that government has to do is to get those people freed.
Right.
And government has achieved its objective. As for the next level of action, it's left for the security people to take. I don't want to second guess them. They know what they have to do. They've taken the precaution to make sure that at least they retrieve those people from there. That's the first thing. So the next line of action is left with, I don't want to be talking about.
And that is all the people who were abducted?
All of them.
Right. All 38 of them.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Very, very interesting there. Well, you hear him. I didn't see this. Not be me talker. That's straight from the mouth of Oga Bayo Onanuga. So joining us in the studio now, Zari Yusuf. Zari, I'm so sorry the network is just messing up our conversation this evening. So sorry. Can you hear me?
It is.
Apologies. So I don't know if you watched that interview with Bayo Onanuga with Charles Anyogoli yesterday evening, where he explained how the 38 church worshippers and all that, and other, kidnapped people were released, how the security agencies pressed on the kidnappers to release them, and they obeyed because they know the consequences. Did you watch it?
No, I was not able to catch up on that.
Try, and for play and for you, I just play and finish for my people. Well, that's by the way. The news of the release of these young girls now, they don't release another set of people. That is the Kebbi young girls, and we're very excited about it. They were on their way to their state government house. I'm sure by now they would have been done, perhaps celebrating at the government house. How does that make you feel? Do you think that this whole attention from the United States now, they pressure President Bola Tinubu to make sure say you do the right thing? Or do you think there's more to this series of releases?
Now, if you would ask me, first of all, I must express to you that I am glad the children have been released, but we are not dealing with a government that one could trust so much. It will not be out of place to assume that certain things, because of what happened during the case of the Chibok girls, that it could be that some things just happened to demonstrate some form of preparedness to curb insecurity. In other words, it could as well be a setup. Unfortunately, it's a painful line of thought, but
a setup.
Looking at what let me put it this way: okay. Looking at what happened to the Chibok girls,
okay,
and how it primarily impacted. You see, we are in a country where you don't exactly understand what's going on. What I'm saying is, we're in a situation where human lives could actually be toiled with to score political points. So one, it is a thing of joy the children have been released. Well, let me put it in a more polite way. I would hope that when we dig deeper into what took place, we shall not find anything to be disappointed about. And of course, the pressure from the US is causing a whole lot of discomfort. But I think the discomfort, unfortunately, is not translating into tangible steps to put an end to insecurity. It's translating more into propaganda and all kinds of moves to appear to be prepared to deal with insecurity. Of course, the only thing I celebrate about that is that those children are back with their parents, are back with their loved ones, healthy. I sincerely hope nothing wrong has happened to any one of them.
Okay,
in terms of either violation all of that.
All right. So, I mean, during that questioning or that interview with Charles Aniolu, he kept asking what were the terms of the release and waiting government do. I mean, how possible is it that girls will be released, no arrests, none of the bandits injured, none of them killed, they're not paraded, no nothing. And then he did say that that the security agencies pressured on them and they had to release the girls because they know the consequences of not releasing them. I don't understand. Yeah, maybe you help me explain for that.
Yes. So that's why I started off by saying I sincerely hope it is not again. Reason being, when you kidnap, not that we hope that there's casualty, especially on the side. This sense in coming to tell us we put pressure on them and they released them. I didn't actually follow the interview, but I followed loads and loads of commentaries from very tangible sources with regards to it.
Okay.
What is the logic? What's the logic behind telling you that they released the girl because we pressured them? Is it, do you live in the same parlor and you told them, I'll use this skin and beat you if you don't bring this thing? Something is fishy about it. What makes it more fishy? You will remember a case of the police, the IG, that was making a statement about certain bandits where he was asked to interface and he didn't arrest them.
Yes.
He voluntarily offered to up, so he can't arrest them.
Yes.
Now
that was again shocking too.
That gives you an idea of a government that is either, which is more likely, in bed with terrorists or has been overpowered and has surrendered to terrorism. Because when you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 girls, kidnap them from school, 20, 30, the business is to rescue the girls and to put a bullet in you, whoever you may be. And if that doesn't happen, then arrest them. But it just looked as if there was just an exchange program. Maybe somebody just held on to something that belonged to you and said, if you don't release this thing. What exactly took place? So something is happening. There is an insult on the common sense of Nigerians. And that's, unfortunately, and I'm sorry really to those who may not understand, that's why I started off by saying, I hope this is not a whole stage thing to look as if, look, they just hit this place and we quickly went and we rescued them. Something is fishy. There are more questions to that than the answers we are getting. Unfortunately, innocent girls are involved in it.
All right. So, I mean, let's get to other issues, especially concerning the security. I mean, you're somebody who's very informed about what they happen around the north and this whole kidnapping issues and all that. So there's a good news this evening. The federal government don't finally accept to end open grazing. How do you see this? And how do you receive this news?
I know we're too quick to get excited.
Why?
Do you know why?
Why you know today quick to today excited?
The reason is because there is somebody heading the news came from someone heading Ministry of Livestock and whatsoever.
Absolutely, yes.
While the Ministry of Livestock is not exactly Buhari's plan for Ruga, it's not exactly the exact word for that Buhari was using for Ruga, for cattle ranches and all of that. I have an idea of what setting up those ranches means and why the governors of the, why Nigerian governors objected it, especially those from the middle belt and the southern part of the country. It is my earnest hope that the idea is not that now you have seen the damage and the death that could result from refusing to allow us have our way. So we will call them off, ban open grazing, but we will implement that thing that Buhari started, the water resources being the so it will be important. It will be important to understand. It would be nice first to understand the other side of what they do, because in that one, it looks as if in every senatorial zone there will be a cattle ranch. In Buhari's own, the water resources being meant he will take over the body of waters, which the federal government can use it for whatever.
But the governors did not. The governors did not. The governors did not particularly consent to that. If you remember now, not many governors be agreed to that.
And because governors don't consent to that,
Oh dear. Okay. So Nigerian network, even as I run, leave on a for dear, come enter inside phone too. When I don't come with an wahala again. All right, I'll perhaps try to reconnect again and then I get back to you. So let's rush through some other conversations that we have tonight. As I said earlier, the federal government has officially outlawed open grazing nationwide as part of broader strategy to end the recurring what they call clashes between farmers and herders. That a lot of people still refuse that it is clashes. I mean, because of reports that are evidence. So the decision, of course, was revealed today, Tuesday. Hello, Zari, you're welcome. Welcome back. Can you hear me?
Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. So we were saying that governors did not, the governors will not agree for that water resources and the Ruga issue. And then yes,
Governors no agree. Traditional leaders no, rulers no agree. Youth leaders no, because we understand waiting down on me. Waiting down on me, we say we will get new landlords. That is the way we GRA did before. That you only find the colonialists and the top government functionaries. That is how they hope to upgrade these ranches. In other words, the federal government, the state government, the local government will be remitting an allocation to sustain the infrastructure in that place. In other words, it's more like building a boarding school, free boarding school for these Fulani guys.
Oh, why they say they go put hospitals, then go put everything for them for their area, made them just stay there. But what? But wait, Zaria, I mean, you're from the north. Why do you think that why the federal government they handle issues we get to do with this particular set of people differently from how did they handle other people issues? Why? What is the special?
So
What's in this special?
The mistake first came when they were adopted by the federal government as a pet project.
As a what?
Now, if you be
as a pet project.
So they took them. You see, let me give you an instance. If you go Benue, the guy from Benue in the farm, he will go pay school fees before he child go to school. He go if you want to come out for 1 bedroom apartment, enter 2 bedroom. If you don't get money to do that, you go pay rent today that one. Then and all have evolved and have learned to integrate. So they've either modified certain cultures to blend with people, or they laid it off, or they reserved it for special occasions, the ones they are calling cultural festivals and all that. But this particular ones, the mistake where government do, that archaic lifestyle where you go carry cow from Mali, travel go Cameroon, government come adopt them, say they get cattle route, say they be nomads. Instead, they build school. Everybody they go school. Igbo man they carry pikin go school. Yoruba they go school. Birom they go school. Baju they go school. Then this one they say because they waka about, they go do their nomadic education, different from others. So the mistake was that the government began to give them, instead of integrating into the society, the government decided to start committing resources to sustain their archaic lifestyle. And that is the reason why once they pass through a place with cow, they feel entitled to kill you. And then the government tends to feel the need to protect them because they have already taken them as a special kind of people that need a special kind of attention. It is a more difficult thing to raise a poultry farm, to do fishery, than to rear cows. Let me be honest.
But wait, is it not a private business? I mean, now government get the business.
It's a private business. So that's why as you ask me that question, I tell you, say, I know go quick, they excited. Because I just hope, say, nobody say then as they come on this one, Nigerians will begin celebrate. Then the next minute, they'll start telling us, so in every senatorial zone, we've decided 2,000 or 4,000 hectares of land will be dedicated to this. That is our land of heritage. And the next thing, so billion will be committed to this. Now, that is a criminal who has raped women, killed people, going to be rewarded with our commonwealth. In other words, they want to adopt an ethnic group and make them a liability on the commonwealth of others. So you would pay tax, I would pay tax, I would educate my child for my village. Then they will carve area, carry another person. We know they do anything. You will just come sit down for inside. Bridge will do for them. Hospital will do for them. School will do for them. Security will do. So there are a whole lot of things that I hope is not what they intend to roll out after doing this. Because when you say a banned open grazing, there should be a clause that follows it. Whoever wants to raise cattle should run it as a private business. It's as simple as that. Unless that is the case, then we are in for something more dangerous.
So a lot of people now, a lot of the federal government not come as one of the reasons we didn't ban them now to ensure that they put an end to the consistent or constant farmer headers clash. Now a lot of people don't several times feel offended as federal government they call this issue farmer headers clash, but they still ensured they put that same nomenclature to it. As somebody who basically don't live for inside the north and really very familiar with the situation, within the assessment of this kind of nomenclature and waiting you think about how they continuously they call this issue farmer headers clash based on the reality where you could not experience. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, okay, so it's I don't understand what it is with network today. It's just been a very crazy day with the network. I don't know. Okay, but I'll do my best to reconnect again. But that's about it. That's what the federal government said, and I did tell you that I mean the IGP don't talk say they don't say the reason why maybe they attack schools now to stop children access from education and all that. Well, let's see. But the most worrying conversation, I mean, to read them we will talk now. The series of kidnaps we don't they happen again, and as they release, then they kidnap more. What's in be the future? Because do we continue like this, and do we keep? Hello, Zarie. Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Please
I'm
do.
so sorry with this.
I am almost frustrated, but I don't want to be frustrated. It's been a great. Somehow, I'm even a bit happy that this is. I mean, that Goldie didn't join us today. Imagine this kind of back and forth. You know, if she were here, she could see our country finish.
Yeah, from my end, it would have been clearer, but in my own end, I will try to fix my network. I think
please.
something just happened.
Please, because it go be see finish for Nigeria. I mean, among insecurity and other things, so the battle, no come battle service inefficiency join them. You know, go make sense at all. All right. So I'd ask about your assessment of the nomenclature of farmer header clash.
Yeah. So the nomenclature tells you that the whole thing is the cover up for something, because one, you are denying an ongoing genocide. Two, you are emphasizing that by carving out a false narrative that it's farmer header clash. Why they are insisting on calling it farmer header clash is because the criminals behind this don't want to be held accountable. So the best thing is to ensure that they use state powers to give it a nomenclature that suggests something different. When you travel throughout the Middle Belt, when you travel down south, especially now that they've started killing people in the south western part of the country and all of that, you don't find mass graves Fulani people. You find mass graves of the people they are attacking. They keep killing people and keep raping women, keep destroying crops, keep killing people, keep raping women, keep destroying crops. But the people who would be behind what they are pursuing would insist that it is farmer headers clash. So the first thing that came to my mind when I saw farmer header clash was to disconnect myself from celebrating the fact that they have banned open grazing. As of now, only God knows the number of killers that are lodged in our forest. Only God knows that.
So, what for your opinion and based on your assessment? Okay, go ahead, please.
So I say, when you talk, say you don't ban open grazing, what exactly does that mean? Especially with the line that you are doing it to check farmer header clash. That demonstrates 100% insincerity. But I will not be in a hurry to celebrate it until I see the other side of it.
Okay, I mean, for your assessment on the things that don't happen, following, chronicling the developments, what do you think will be the end game of this? A lot of people don't talk their own, but I would like to hear from you. What do you think? To what end all of these attacks? People get to communities. I mean, I have heard attacks on a particular community, Abi area, like Zagato, over almost 50 times. Now and then, every now and then again, Agatu's community in Benue State is attacked. There are different communities in Benue, in the Plateau State, Bokos, local government, and all of those constantly under attack. To what end? We think say all these things that happen from your assessment as person we don't follow this issue.
It is an expansionist agenda of jihadists. That is just the whole idea.
But you're an Hausa man. I mean, are you not from northern Nigeria? A lot of people will talk. Say, why somebody from northern Nigeria they talk this kind of thing when your fellow people from northern Nigeria they talk saying no?
I know the Hausa man, I'm from the middle belt. I'm from southern Kaduna.
Okay. Oh wow, yes. Wow. And your people don't suffer a lot about this too.
When
oh dear. Okay, so I go try forgive me for this network issue, because it be like say my village people I need to go carry two gallon of it them use give them, made them just release network for us because it's just crazy and bizarre. Please bear with us. Hello Zari, sorry we lost you again. I may be doing this as often as we lose you. Go ahead, please. Okay, so you said you're from Southern Kaduna, and sadly, your people don't suffer a lot from this kind of incident. So let's go ahead. Why?
I tell you, when the thing they happen for Southern Kaduna, media attention no even media. Most of those that had the guts to speak up either had to flee the country, either had to end up in jail, and some were just silenced. Whatever happened to them
for calling out the injustice on their own people. They had to run away.
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Because the sitting governor said it was a revenge. You remember he was the one that came out and was bragging. Say, don't follow people go Mali, go Chad, go whether in Sudan or Niger or what. Say, don't carry our taxpayers' money, go compensate them. Go beg them, say, they don't come kill in people for Southern Kaduna. So they do billboards, say the people of Southern Kaduna have repented.
I beg, which of the governor be this? Which of the governors?
Nasiru El-Rufai.
I just said
Nasiru El-Rufai. Nasiru El-Rufai. Body bags. The one we talk say we both people go come out the country for body bags.
If they put them up for election.
The massacre in Southern Kaduna got to a point where they killed a Christian monarch. Agwam Adara. They killed a Christian monarch. A place that is predominantly Christian. They killed the man and they converted the place to an emirate.
Is it still an emirate right now? Is it still an emirate? Is it still an emirate right now? Like right now, is it still an emirate?
Yeah, it's an emirate. When you maybe click, you see emir of Kajuru. The place does not have historical, religious, or cultural bearing whatsoever with the emirate system. But click, you find there is an emir of Kajuru. Now, they balkanized the guy man's kingdom. He was assassinated because he resisted the changing of the nomenclature of that place. Why he resisted is that when you come to Southern Kaduna, our kings, we don't call them kings of a geographical location, we call them king of the people. Like now we'll say Agwam Adara, the Adara and the people. So his realm extends everywhere they are. And that is a problem for a Fulani jihadist to dominate the people. But if you call it a locality, Kajuru, he will tell you that he has lived there for 20 or 30 years, so he feels entitled to be the king. So that was the argument that went between the governor and most of the monarchs, Christian monarchs from Southern Kaduna. And he was the, I think, leading vocal voice there. They had a meeting on his way back, somebody kidnapped him, and then they assassinated him. And everybody was waiting for a new king to come. The next thing, it was an emirate that came up.
What year exactly did this happen?
When was this year? I think it was in the second. I think it was after 2019 election. Okay. That running into the second Muslim thing ran. Yeah, I think so. So the Southern Kaduna now one whole continent where people don't even begin the Southern Kaduna genocide. Now one continent where we never even lay hands on. If it did messed up as Benue and Plateau State. But we will go there because then they talk say which don't chop person picking forget, but the person when they chop it picking, he never forget.
But Shegumi, okay, go finish. Make I hear from you finish then because we'll be the here say please don't restore there.
The aim of these killings, I am not one that goes into intellectualizing falsehoods. They say resources, land grabbing, climate change, blah, blah, blah. All of these things could be symptoms of the main problem or could be part of the reasons of the main problem, but you can't excuse the main problem. You can't go to the hospital because you have rashes on your body, or you can't go to the doctor because your body is turning pale, then they will now give you cream that will darken it. The doctor will run tests and understand why that skin is looking that way. So the main cancer that is causing these killings, that has spread now from the middle belt and is going into the southwestern part of the country, is simply an Islamic jihad. That's all. The reason why all these narratives are coming is because they want to prosecute it without the attention of the world. That's simply it. That's basically how I put it to you.
So do you think that this attention we Nigeria don't get now with this, because the federal government, the US continuously, they don't want to change matter, they call them Christian genocide, now they happen for Nigeria. So even though say yes, not the only Christians they die, but that they are targeted and they are killed for their faith. So the federal government don't talk, say, oh, they don't go innocent delegation in the US to say that they try stop the misinformation about what's they happen because no be Christians. So we get a security issue for Nigeria and it no get to be Christian genocide. But the US government continue to insist, say, that Christian genocide they happen. Now, with this attention way they get and with some sort of agitation and apprehension we will see where our government don't get now, what do you think say will happen in the coming days, especially as government don't talk, say the US don't agree to share intelligence with them? How far you think say this one will go, the sharing of intelligence and all that?
If the US talk, say they agree to share intelligence with Nigeria.
US no talk them. Now our government talk them. Okay, but I don't know what I don't hear them from US.
Our government don't talk. Our government don't talk plenty things. We later, person will talk, say, we never follow Nigerian government like that too. So when the UN government says we agree to share intelligence because it is counter to the posts that Trump is making, it is counter to the position that Congressman Riley is making and all of that. The body language in the US or in the media or in the US does not suit the type that you will come back to Nigeria and tell us that you have agreed to work the whole thing diplomatically, because the US government has been insisting there is an ongoing genocide in your country targeted as Christians, and you are denying it. How is it possible to solve a problem with somebody that has refused to agree that there's a problem? So I don't even believe what the government is saying. That's the first thing. And what I see likely happening is sanctions will come. Possibly names will be mentioned. Names of people sponsoring terrorism. I know they talk about those ones where they push, they talk about those ones where they fly private jets, those ones where they is, those ones where possibly they get political appointment, or then they don't do governor, or then they do senate. You know, saying that those ones they make sure say terrorism no green end, you just they rise, they go. So possibly names will come out. And possibly as in they take target the ones where they push. That's how they will target those ones. We look forward to that, because I'm of the opinion that whatever measure needs to be taken, whether locally and internationally, to bring an end, as a matter of fact, a very gruesome end to the sponsors of terrorism, it is welcome. That is what I'm saying. But whatever the case may be, if these killers are able to scale through this bridge, possibly the US is fooled, which is unlikely, into thinking that they can handle the matter. For Christian for Nigeria. If you join Biafra and Rwandan genocide, there will be chance play for that place. Mark my words.
I be don't hear that when you talk. Go repeat them again because your network being break and we'll lose some seconds. Talk them again and beg no vex.
I tell you, see, if we make mistake, say we don't dismiss this thing, we don't treat this mess, this killing where they do, this lie where they lie, say no Christian genocide. If the people where they sponsor this false narrative, say no Christian genocide, if they manage to escape with them this time around, waiting happened during Biafra and Rwandan genocide, if they join that together, now child's play to waiting will happen to people for Nigeria.
That means,
because
okay,
you are denying something, you are denying what's happening, and then a new wave of massacre, a new wave of fighters are already gearing up and doing press up in the southwestern part of the country. What exactly are you talking about? And then look at the attitude with which the Inspector General of Police is dismissing interfacing with terrorists, that they voluntarily showed up. So now when that kind of thing they happen, I beg. say they voluntarily showed up, and then look at the ease with which a terrorist spokesperson is going to mainstream media and is advancing their cause. Sheikh Gumi has warned Nigeria that if they mistakenly attack terrorists, that waiting they happen will be child's play. He has said this thing on national TV. But Nigerian government is quiet about it. This should tell you the depth of the mess that Nigeria is in. Okay?
Yeah. All right. I would like to know, when you say mess, how bad is this really? How bad is this for the common Nigerian living in North Central Nigeria, living perhaps across the country right now, because the fear don't spread around. Remember, say, in fact, just the other day, there is an attack. Somebody, I think somebody really work for US Army, and now say or give clue, say there's going to be an attack. Let me see, I think I have it. There is going to be an attack somewhere in Imo State, and that the terrorists have surrendered the forest in Imo State. Immediately, the police were inside Imo State come, deny I'm saying a lie, saying the prophet of doom, say that kind of thing nothing happen at all at all. And then the young man quickly went and said that, mark this statement, because that's how they start by denying. He goes by the name Chibo. He said, don't forget this post. Okay, I think before I go, don't forget this post. Let me get that his message. So the reason I'm raising this conversation is that, they like saying only North Central again, they like saying only Northwest again, it happened. He'd be like saying, indeed, the thing don't spread. So he said, intel alert for Imo State, an imminent attack impending around Nekede, as many Fulani headsmen have been instructed to strike inside the town. The order implies that Nekede will be overrun and taking over very soon. Now, time frame is 1 to 2 weeks from now, perhaps he said. They have been receiving supplies and armories. And consistently for the last week. Sorry, the print is quite small, so I'm struggling to see it. They have also been bringing their fellow members from other regions. Many people in town have been seeing them on bikes, and they are not fully aware of their plans yet. Be prepared. And immediately, the Commissioner of Police in Imo State responded and said, you've practically turned fear peddling and mischief making into a routine. Almost every post from you follows the same pattern of confusion, sensationalism, and alarm. Sensible people know better than to take you serious. And then he went back to say that people should take this post serious, because that's how they eventually deny, and later it will happen again. So this is worrisome. And for inside Imo State, and for inside Ebonyi State, for inside Anambra State, for inside Enugu State, out of fear, they don't also beef up security for schools. So how bad is this? That's the reason I asked that question. And if it is this bad, how is it that President Bola Tinubu at least is not a northerner? How is it that the president's hands are tied and he can't, for the good of the nation, say, no, I can't watch my country go down or this happen? What is going on?
Well, the first thing you should do is to look at the people he has surrounded himself with. Matole is there, Bello Matole, the former governor of Zamfara.
Naingo, the Indian grant to make sure they free the girls now.
The Minister of State.
For defense.
The Minister of State.
For defense.
Yes.
We're not get any qualification as a defense person, by the way. Go ahead.
You might have had a cleric, a Muslim cleric, that said the terrorist was arrested with over 500 arms and was taken somewhere, and a direct call came from Bello Matole. He said, he didn't say Bello Matole, but he said the current Minister of State for Defense. A call came from him and said, you have arrested one of my boys, release him. When the new governor came in, I saw a video where he was making a statement saying, one of his commissioners, that he has supplied logistics to this terrorist. But today it's the Minister of Defense. So there is something that is happening. It's not a government it's a government that has been infiltrated by people that will make it impossible to fight terrorism. That's the first thing. For instance,
Okay.
I dey kill people, I dey thief people, and then you can't carry me as your PA. The other guy will be your advice in the steal. How you want to fight armed robbers? You know, we work now. So it's a compromised government already in terms of its capability to fight terrorism. Now, for the common Nigerian, what that means is we are getting to a point where the Nigerian system is being perverted, and then priority is given to terrorists. An example is if I cost president today, you know, if we reach 1 to 3 hours, then go come carry me for my house because they will use my.
You know, get to cost president. So somebody cost somebody for House of Assembly for Ebonyi State. The DSS don't carry on now. You get my news. You don't need to reach the president. President too far.
Person will use. For person will use. That's terror. Nobody say terrorists do video, go post them. But terrorists get social media handle. Where they post as they slaughter people, where they post as they rape women, where they post the ransom, where they collect. But every day they tell us they go look at them. So tell them go do video. So tell them go warn Nigerians. Plenty things where they don't do before. So what we are being taught as Nigerians is that unless you learn to start being sympathetic to terrorists, your life is as worthless as anything. In other words, terrorists will carry motorcycle, 1,000, 2,000 of them, heavily armed. Then go wear khaki, then go drive machine, maybe for 20 minutes. Then go enter community, come sit down. Soldier they there with phone. You go the whole phone. The terrorists go hold microphone, they talk. Military officer go the whole phone, the video rap. Islamic cleric they one side, politician they the other side. People, including men where they don't rape their wives before, they go stay there, they chant, they hail them because they see they carry gun, they carry bullet. They go finish that one, they go go back to where they come out from. But until date, then they tell us say they don't know where they did. This is how bad it is. It is as bad as Nigerian government going to the international stage and outrightly denying a genocide against its own citizens. So much that I am afraid we may get to a point where they may start clamping down on anybody that says they have attacked. It happened in Kaduna. I told you in Kaduna State it happened. They attack a place and then they will tell you they arrested people. You will think it is the attackers they arrested. It will be the district head of the place. It will be one lawyer from the place. It will be one student or one social media guy that decided to post what happened. It happened in Kaduna State. Possibly they would make it a national issue, such that if you make the mistake of saying Christian genocide, they will just pick you. So if you like, make you go watch as them bury 2,000 people. The good thing is shut your mouth up because Nigerian government say everything they all right. You can imagine a terrorist like Sheikh me telling people that Christians and Muslims are living peacefully and there is nothing happening. It is the US that is creating all this narrative. How many people they don't bury for Benue this year? How many people they don't kill for Plateau this year? How many people they don't kill for southwestern Nigeria? How many women they don't violate between January and this month? How many communities where people no feel go there, go stay? You sabi how many children where the only thing where they don't see for their life in a primary school? That's the primary school where their mama born them. The primary school where they don't talk to IDP. They've been there, they were born in that place, they are growing up. Some of them are 10, some of them are 12. Their concept of a family where you enter the home, lock the door, pray, have dinner, and sleep. It has never happened to them. Their home is just to sleep in primary school, wake up, and go out until some of them are 10 and 12. Inside Benue, their land of heritage. They don't even know how their village looks like. They believe very dehumanizing conditions. That is how bad it is. And then the government of that kind of a country would go to the international stage and deny a genocide against people. That is a very dangerous government, I think.
So Zari, we do know, admitted, this thing not start with President Bola Tinubu, right? So how is it that he's so powerless that he cannot do anything apart from the people in surrender himself? Do you think there's some sort of deal, or is there something he's afraid of? What could it be? What could be more powerful than a president and commander-in-chief of a country? and he no fit damn any consequences and say, let me write my name in the sands of time and do what I have to do to save Nigeria and stop people from dying. Why has it become so powerless? And people know him as Jagabano. You know, they call him Jagaban for nothing. So what is going on? Why is this beyond him?
Yes. So clearly, the security situation in Nigeria says he's actually not Jagaban after all. What makes any man of power powerless is called compromise. So when you look at how he emerged as president, you will understand that there were a lot of things that came to play for that kind of rigging to have passed. Otherwise, there was a coup. And then from the unofficial, even though they say it's not an official list, but there was a list that was going around. It was basically primarily 80-90% Northern Muslims that were on that list. You would think that if you have to do a change of guards, you will remove the ones that are around you. But he sacked every other person and left Globadu, left Matawale, left, what's his name? Badaru, and all of that. So everybody, what exactly is happening? I thought, for instance, if you were a president and there was a coup and all the names, almost all of them, at least 80% are bandits. And then your NSA and your defense ministers are Yoruba. The assumption is that you will fear, if this thing had succeeded or this plan was going on, and then with these people around me, what could have been, the problem? But he now took out the guy from the middle belt, and then a lot of other, and he made his changes. Well, whatever that might be, but the fact that they are still holding those positions mean there is something we don't know. Because there is nothing strategic about doing that. So I think it has to do with a lot of compromise, possibly a lot of complicity, because the very moment somebody has a hook on you, there is a limit to which you can do anything. That's just the truth of the matter.
Then how possible is it that Nigeria will endure this through to 2031? Because the president may likely return following what's in the happen for inside politics. He may likely return in 2027. So how possible is it that this country will survive this?
I think 2031 is far. What you should concern yourself is how possible it is for the country to survive till 2027. With the kinds of development we see, and when I say the kinds of development, I'm talking to you about the ease with which, have you ever seen the kind of armor that this Islamists carry?
Yeah. And very young boys, so very young men, oh, they're very young. Oh. Who teach them? We were just discussing it yesterday. If they say Shegumi is saying, advocating that their problem is lack of education, then who taught them how to handle those arms? I am educated, I know Sabi handle them. So who taught them? Because that also takes education.
Education. If they drop one of those guns, how many village people for Southern Kaduna or Benue or Plateau fit use money buy?
Absolutely.
All the people of the people waiting the how many fit even afford that kind of? The drone waiting they use kill soldier. How many village people fit use them do anything? So Sheikh Mahmoud Gumi is only fronting for an ideology he believes in, which is taqiyya. His business is to deceive people into thinking these ones are the victims. What he is trying to tell people is that they are raping your women, they are killing you, they are carrying out the genocide, they are overrunning your communities because they are not educated. That is basically what he's trying to tell people. This is a man who speaks on behalf of terrorists, which automatically makes him a terrorist. If I tell you that I speak on behalf of the Dental Association of Nigeria, I'm most likely a dentist. If I tell you I'm speaking on behalf of rapists, what Shegumi is doing is more or less me as a man coming to tell you that, well, you see, these people, yes, I agree, they are raping women, but that is their way of trying to satisfy their lust. Are you not supposed to arrest me? The man goes on cheap platforms to rationalize the act of terrorism. He says that they are doing what they are doing because they want to put fear in people, because that is the way they feel like protecting themselves. Have we not lived with each other before? Has the Ngas man not lived with the Calabar man? Has the Igbo man not lived with the Yoruba man and all of that? Why are they not just killing? Why will I just come to a community and start killing people because I feel it is the best way I can defend myself? So we have a man that goes on TV to rationalize terrorism and the country is used to it. So you have asked how bad it is. It is so bad that we can actually look at a terrorist on national TV and the government can't do anything about it.
And then how possibly did for this kind of thing to happen and succeed in a 21st century such as we are? How possibly they say people will actually succeed in taking people land and turning it into what their intention is? It did practical.
That is where the narrative comes in. Once you win the narrative war, then you win everything. And the narrative war was basically what made it. For instance, if I told you there was a genocide in Southern Kaduna, not many people even know. It was a narrative.
I knew about the Zango Kataf incident a long time ago. I've been in this deal a long time ago.
No, not Zango Kataf. I'm talking to you about what happened under Nasru.
Under Nasru. Well, we knew about it. We've been in the media. We've been talking. But just like you said, there was some sort of media suppression about it. But we knew.
So the first narrative that makes it possible for this kind of massacre to go on below the radar is to create a big enterprise called climate change-induced crisis. So a jihadist group will go and massacre people in the community, and the best attention it will get is to just be pushed as farmer-header clash, and then the world doesn't know it. Those are the facts that many of those people trying to tell the world that there is no Christian genocide. When you listen to their narrative, you realize that they want to link it to climate change and tell you that no, there are farmers who are struggling for resources, and there are cattle rearers who are also struggling for resources, and that is the reason why there is the clash. They call it a clash. I'm talking to you about things that will kill 500 people in one night. I'm talking to you about people that use anti-aircraft guns. I'm talking to you about people that come with AK-47. I'm talking to you about people that use drones. I'm talking to you about people who use communication gadgets that even the military does not have. I'm talking to you about people who would know how to destroy a bridge that would easily connect the military to the community before they start killing people. It is not random people who have access to guns that are just fighting. They are trained jihadists. When you look at how they attack, if you and I, if they give us gun, I don't know how long it will take us to go community in the night, kill 300 people, then run, go back, go hide somewhere, and nobody find us. Then we go move to another community, same thing. So what makes it possible to happen in the 21st century is that a sitting government or people infiltrate the government and ensure that they create a big narrative to cover a genocide. And that is basically what's happening.
Wow. So that means as we are in Nigeria, because of say we'll not get those set of people out of government, that means we're in soup until we do something about it. And what can we do really?
So this is basically where the call is. I appreciate what the Americans have done so far. The singular fact that they've identified what has been happening as a genocide. That's the first step. Putting us on the CPC list is the next step. You see, what we are suffering is not just local. The people doing the killing have already keyed into the international, into the global jihad movement. So that's why you notice they don't run out of arms. They have all the best narrative to cover what they are doing. When you see how they massacre people, and then you climb to the level of the economic community of the West African states, and they tell you it's not a genocide. Then you move to the level of the African Union, they tell you it's not a genocide. You move to the level of the United Nations, they tell you it's not a genocide, it's farmer-header clash. The United Nations particularly is one hypocritical organization that they have never called out these massacres. But the very moment the Air Force once took out some terrorists between Nasarawa and Benue,
yes,
the United Nations as genocide. It leaves no questions and answers. Okay? So you begin to wonder, you are calling it farmer-header clash, farmer-header clash. Are you not aware that they killed 500 people? Are you not aware they killed 50 people? Are you not aware that there are 5, 6, 7 communities that people don't live there anymore for the past 5 to 10 years? Are you not aware that there are children that are as old as 10 or 12 that all they have lived in is an IDP camp in a primary school? Are you not aware that there are little girls, adolescents that are being molested because they live in a condition where for a simple pack of spaghetti, you could mess her up however you want because she needs to help her mother. Amina Mohammed, the deputy Secretary, is from Nigeria.
Yes.
But that woman never opened her mouth to say a thing about the genocide in Nigeria's Middle Belt. But then it looks as if it's a problem if we say it's because she's a Muslim and it's because she's a Fulani woman. But that's just the reason. So hers is not a conspiracy of denying the genocide. Hers is just to remain silent. Because she will definitely not be silent if there was a Christian group from Benue State, for instance, say Tib, or from Kaduna State, for instance, say Paju, or from Plateau, for instance, say Mogavul or Angas, that they are the ones in Sokoto raping women and killing people. They are the ones in Benue raping and killing people. They are the ones in Zamfara doing the same thing. They are the ones in Katsina doing that to Muslim women, searching Muslim communities and occupying them. And then the people cry out and she's still quiet. It's not going to happen. But it's happening in the Middle Belt.
And she's a Nigerian representative who ought to speak about it. Or who ought to have spoken about it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Network again. Can you hear me?
Okay, am I?
Can you hear me? Yes,
yeah,
yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so we are in a situation where, like I said, what would help the masses when you begin to see people celebrating the intervention of a foreign power in their affairs? It's because the sovereignty of the state is already in question. The sovereignty of the Nigerian state is should be such that if somebody comes to my village and attacks people, I should tell the government, these kinds of people came here and they killed 100 people last night. You can imagine a Nigeria where it's possible to kill 280 people, and then the sitting governor will be denying the numbers. You are meeting the victims and this woman, and you are counting the heads of the victims affected, the number of widows, the number of orphans, the number of corpses. But a sitting governor is telling you that it is not happening.
So
whatever have existed between, yeah.
I was going to ask, with the way this thing is going on, why do we even need election in Nigeria? Because clearly, when the politicians are supervising the massacre of its own people or their own people, so why do we even need election? Should we be talking about election? The only thing in the air, in the mind of politicians, it's 2027. And if this thing they happen with the way they happen, then why should we not all come out and call out the government and say, you know what, we need to do election, we're going to address this situation. If when I want to turn us to another country, let's know that that's the mission. What is going on? How can we, do you think the Nigerian people themselves are also complicit because of their docility?
Well, I used to think the Nigerian people are complicit or docile, but I now looked at how long it took to put them in that position. You know, under the military regime, we said no freedom of expression, no this, no that. But as bad as Abacha was, as bad as Babangida was, as bad as Gawan was, in terms of them being military people that did their thing unilaterally, do you think it's possible under Abacha, bad as he was, that a group will enter any part of the country and can kill 300 people, and that he will be sending delegation to go and be snapping pictures with them and be telling people that it's because they felt that the government didn't meet their end of the bargain, so that's why they got angry? That's a terrorist holding microphone and telling military officers who are holding phone and recording him. Do you think that would have happened? But today we are in Nigeria where you can. There's a woman called Asabe Moses. Do you know what terrorists did to that woman? They forced her to watch how they slaughtered her husband. Literally, I'm talking to you about slaughter, the way you slaughter her. They forced her to watch it. And they took her 14-year-old child and the 10-year-old one. They burnt them alive in the house. They left that woman, not because they loved the woman or because they chose to spare her, but that was her own punishment, to live the rest of her life being tormented by that experience they forced her to watch. Do you call that a clash? Are you not seeing the expansionist or the jihadist side of it? Are you not seeing the genocidal dimension of what's happening? Why would you do that to a woman? Why would you do that to a wife? Why would you do that to a mother? Why would you force a mother to watch you burn her children alive and then you let her go? Do you understand the kind of country we're living in? And there is somebody that will sit down and tell you that these things are lies. Okay? It is the church and some activists that are doing it so that people will be sending them funds and blah, blah, blah. It's a lie. We have lived peacefully all these years. It's a Pentagon propaganda so that they come and thief our resources, blah, 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 blah. Can you see how inhuman the people the people ruling the country have become? This is basically where we are.
So that is to say that we carry our...
If it will take...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if it will take, and whatever it is that it will take to bring an end to these killings, and not just ending the killings, but to bring to account both the foot soldiers and their sponsors in high places, it is welcome. And it should come soon. We have buried too many people. We have lost too many people. We want to go back home. Women want to mourn their loved ones properly, because there are those that when you meet with them and she speaks to you, you know very well that this one is not as if she has even come to terms with what has happened to her children or her husband. She is just in that waiting period. I remember we delivered some items in Yelewata, a couple of months ago, last month or so. And a woman came to appreciate what we took, the Christian Emergency Alliance. And she was saying, we appreciate these efforts. And it's not as if I'm ungrateful. But for how long will you be doing this? Because we know there are other camps, you will still take the same things. Why can't you take us back to our homes? She wasn't shouting or being angry, but when I looked at her eyes, I understood she has asked herself, is this basically what our lives are? Living in primary school, and then when God touches the heart of somebody, he just brings food and medicines for us. Is this basically how we live? That idea did not, her expression didn't leave my mind. When you look at her face, you won't see any pain. She was indifferent, but she asked a question that was deep. And I understood that was a wounded woman. I didn't bother to dig deep what her scenario was because I didn't want to create something. Only God knows what has happened to her. But her question is, how long will you be doing this thing? Can't you take us back to our homes?
I'm talking about taking them back to their homes. Shouldn't that be the number one priority of the government right now, considering this whole international attention we don't get? The reason I asked this question, a video made the round yesterday about, I think, Truth Nigeria, when they talk for around your community, Southern Kaduna. Yes, when, then they talk about communities we don't be deserted. By the way, Shegumi claims that Kaduna State is peaceful now because the governor has cooperated with the bandits. And the reports where that guy reported yesterday shows that they still continuous attack because the owners of those land don't even feel go back to their land. Their families, their villages that have been deserted for over 10 years. We heard across Plateau, Benue, and Southern Kaduna.
I have seen it with my eyes. It's a lie. Kaduna is a place that, at least under Erufai, it almost perfectly kept those massacres under the radar, below the radar. So it will be easy for the government in Kaduna State to just cover that up. And with somebody like Sheikh Gumi, who speaks on behalf of his people, the terrorists, because I've heard some of his interviews, he has started using the word, all we are asking for, which means he has now owned them fully. Initially he came as like a go-between. And then all of a sudden, he came out in his full regalia. Now, in Kaduna State, because most of what happened in Kaduna State, except for those who take interest in it, many people didn't know. But it's a good thing that Luka Biniak took that. And I think the idea was that they want to even stop journalists from accessing such communities because
so
they don't want anybody to know.
Yes, so we heard.
They don't want anybody to know.
Then where is the peace? And then what's the aim of the negotiation if people cannot go back to their homes? So it's a charade.
There is no negotiation. You can't negotiate with a man that carries an ideology that he believes that his best sacrifice to God is the blood of infidels. You don't negotiate with such individuals.
Hey.
Okay? You don't negotiate with such individuals. There is a reason why these Islamist fighters are being referred to as bandits and terrorists. They don't want the name of who they truly are to come out. There is a reason why the war they are prosecuting is being suppressed. There's a reason why they don't want anybody to say it's a jihad. You insist on farmer-header clash. And when you find a place where a government is actively trying to cover up the reality of the plight that people that are targeted are going through, then you should know that there is a bigger problem than the one you see.
Sorry, this is crazy. Just too much to bite. So there is this continuous attack again. As they release, they attack more. They release some people, and there was like double attack in communities in across Kwara State. So are we likely to see this, continuously? What should be up next? Waiting government is supposed to be doing next, because systematically now, be like say the thing don't move from on a region. You see, they happen for your region. Go ahead.
The only thing I would say is, first of all, I will commend the southeastern governors for their swift response by meeting, and I hope
southeast or southwestern governors.
Southwestern governors. I hope their meeting produces something tangible.
Well, they're insisting they want state policing. That's what they said.
The Southwestern governors should not tool the path of the Middle Belgian politicians. Otherwise, they would mess that region up until they don't believe it is the Southeast. Because it is the Southeast that seems everybody is on its own. The Southwest will put aside political differences,
yes,
or religious differences,
yes,
meet, because our region is under siege.
Yes.
That is the first thing they recognized.
Yes.
And I believe why it is they have met to discuss is for the protection of their land. And that alone sends a clear signal to the invading army. But the Southwest, the southeastern part of the country, tends to be, it's more or less
please say it the way it is. Don't try to,
Yeah.
I see you're looking for a word.
So they tend it, because typically it looks as if they want to try, they can't come here now, blah blah blah. But that's not how it's happening. And I'm sorry to say this. I have asked some of my friends once, I think on the Twitter space, and I said to them, from my study of the Biafran War, I feel that was a genocide. But that's not the topic we are dealing with. But I asked them, I said, do you see the possibility that another force could be built in Nigeria to descend on southeastern Nigeria and behave the same way against your people? Everybody say, no one tried. They are mad. Blah, 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 blah. The Middle Belt used to think like that at some point. If they told anybody that in Jos, an indigent of Jos will be in a place and he will be in a hurry to leave that place before nightfall, he will never have accepted. If anybody had told anyone in southern Kaduna that a day will come when you will spend months or years away from your village, I'm talking about the place where you can trace back the 17th generation of your ancestors living there, they will tell you that, they're mad. It will never happen. It seems the only region that is prepared for anything that is worse, the worst case scenario, will be the southwestern part of the country. And I am hoping the southeastern part will get to that point where all of these governors that know how to say things about each other will now say, wait, forget about political party and difference. Let's just sit down in this room and look at our region. What is going on? How do we address it? It's not happening there. And that is the ease with which all this Operation Crocodile Smile and whatsoever happens in that region.
Yes.
Shebi Nnamdi Kanu has been sentenced to life imprisonment. Was what he was agitating for different from what Igbo was agitating for? Why is it easy to pick him? Why was it easy to do that to him?
So when you just said that thing that the people from Southeast said no, it will never happen. I just gave you the emo sign. You know why I said that? In my head, I'm like, it's already happening systematically, even though it's not physically. There is continuous suppression of the Igbo man. I'm sorry if I'm towing that line. If you look at not just the Nnamdi Kanu's case, are you aware that there are tons of Igbo youths across prisons in Nigeria because they are termed IPOB, even though they were not caught doing anything tangible, according to sources? Are you aware of that? And people will tell you that in the Southeast, most youths don't run away.
You see, the thing is, under Buhari's regime, I said this, and I don't think I'm wrong. My thought is that the focus on the southeastern part of the country and the clamping down on any group that tends to appear active or maybe activist or, whatever it is you would refer to it, or militant. It is not because of the sovereignty of the Nigerian state. It's because we need to clear out anything that looks like a threat to this army that is coming. That's why in the Middle Belt, we don't have a militia in the Blue Belt.
No, just hold on. You know, go talk that thing in a hurry. Just calm down. The reason I tell you to calm down is because some people been done. I have a guest here who has alleged that Buhari actually empowered the unknown gunmen in Imo State in the Southeast PUB. I don't know if you get that point. And then some people also said that he hired Asari Dokubo's men to embark on some of those activities. So this one where they talk now, it can't be like saying now somehow that kind of conversation they talk. Let me say, not they too fast. I beg, repeat it you talk again. So you think Buhari is complicit to ensuring he clamps down on the Southeast, make them not get any strong agitation group or force we will come up to challenge?
Basically, that is how it looks, because you have a militant group that is localized in the southeastern part of the country. Their business is they are secessionists. They are saying we are not okay with this negotiation. We are on this. The bargain is unfair. Blah blah blah. And then you have another one that is not localized, but it finds its way to other people's land of heritage. It rapes their women. It kills them in hundreds. It sacks their homes. It occupies their community. You have not picked any one of them. As a matter of fact, Miyetti Allah, he was one of the patrons of Miyetti Allah, that terrorist organization that took responsibility for many deadly attacks in
Benue State.
Southern Kaduna.
Yes, and Benue. Yes.
Now, so they are working freely. Nnamdi Kanu is in jail. He would face the judge and he will be seeing all kinds of perversions of justice. Ado Alero, Tuji, any dirty terrorist, he will ride on bike and come and sit down and be smiling, and people are surrounding him, and he will hold mic and speak and do whatever he wants to do and go back to the bush. This particular one, they asked him, he said he can't remember the number of people he has killed with his own hands. Okay? They asked Adamu Alero one time, when they collect money for ransom, because they asked them what they're doing, they say it's because of their cows. It's because they are not being treated well, they don't have drugs for their cows, they don't have feed for their cows. They now asked him at the end of the interview, it was with a BBC correspondent, they said, when he collects all this ransom, what does he do with the money? He said they acquire more arms. And that's why I've always told people, they call them kidnappers and bandits, but kidnapping and banditry is a side hustle. The main mission they have is different, and that is why every resource they gather, they buy arms with it. So
another question is, how will those arms be imported again without security noticing it? What is wrong with us in Nigeria?
There are some arms that even if you acquire them in the black market, you will need the backing of a sovereign state to move them from one location to the next. So we're not talking about, I went and sat down somewhere and I manufactured 20 Dane guns. Then I decided to hide them inside a bag of rice or somewhere and move them to another place. A gun that anti-aircraft gun is not child's play. An RPG is not child's play. There's a particular one, I don't know the name. It's not an RPG, but you shoot down planes with it. At least they've demonstrated it in Nigeria. This band is Sheikh Gumi speaking on their behalf. they have brought down a fighter.
Yeah, around Cameroon area also. Yes, I think around the border with Cameroon.
There are so many things that are good. They have tested the resolve of the army by attacking the Nigerian Defense Academy. Do you understand what it means to attack the Nigerian Defense Academy and still remain inside Kaduna State Forest? Kidnapping people and doing. Do you know what that means to Nigeria's sovereignty? We have already been breached. In other words, we may just be sitting down and they will just run over us, and that will just be fine. When you look at the number they come out to make negotiations and do all kinds of things, you will be so surprised.
So many.
Okay. They used to come in 20, 30, 50. Now they come in thousands. Each one of them heavily armed. So if you were just to be shooting, you can't match them with our Nigerian army. Because how many magazines does the soldier carry? These ones have all of them. They have the chains. They have everything. They no longer fear, they no longer fear.
And with this conspiracy that Nigerian army is not allowed to kill them because they asked them to give accounts, is that even correct?
Well, it may be true because when you get to a point where a terrorist comes into the city, and there's a video where men of the Nigerian army, an officer was telling the others on the roadblock to clear the road that Fulani people are passing. They were all there.
Yes, I saw that video. Yes. So
and Sunusi, and give them way, let them pass. We have already agreed with them. Let nobody trouble them. They are just going to pass. So it could likely be true that they've been told, don't attack them, don't kill them, because they are our Muslim brothers.
Hey, Nigeria's phone lines are open. I don't want to say I'm getting emotional, but this is very painful to hear. The level at which it is, things are going in our country. Are we still going to have a country? Well, phone lines are open, first of all. 0817-029-4077 is the number to call on WhatsApp alone, or you just follow the link and it will bring you straight into the studio to join the conversation. And also, if you get plenty of questions when I want to ask Zari this evening, I beg me gonna feel free to ask him, because my mind self don't come out. I don't know what I go ask again. I just stay sad, see all these kind of things they happen. And then I don't even know how would they use voting the same set of politicians we no get our best interest at heart. I don't understand how we can be like this. It's really very crazy. But let me take this call. Hello, good evening and welcome. Please don't do this. Call. No, please. Call on audio, please. Don't do this, sir. Please. All right. So phone lines are open, please. 0817-029-4077. That is the number to call. Okay. Let's see. All right. So Zaria did ask that are we still likely to have a country with the way things are going? Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Good evening.
Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
I want to make my contribution.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to say that
can you tell us your name first of all and where you're calling from?
My name is Ralph Abba. I'm calling from Georgia, USA.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So I'm saying that if you're going to ask my opinion, I'm going to say let Nigeria divide. Let Nigeria divide. Let Nigeria divide. That's the way we are going to have long-lasting solution.
Thank you. That's your opinion.
Yes. And yeah, because I said so because it has never been one nation. And every time I listen to people talk, they make it look like Igbo man is the trouble in that country. Igbo man said he didn't want to be part of that country one time ago. They fought a war. They forced them to be Nigeria. And every opportunity any region in that country has, it slaughters Igbo man, or it destroys their property. Recently, their properties were destroyed in Lagos. And these are people that said, we don't want to be part of this country anymore. And he will say they must be part of Nigeria. And he will let them have peace in Nigeria.
So in your opinion, division will just solve the problem, right? So that we don't...
Yes, division will solve it so that the injustice will stop, because injustice is too much. The Igbo man is not even after political power as such. Because come to think of it, I heard that 40% of the gas that they export in that Nigeria is from Igbo land. But anytime they are doing federal projects, you find out that they exclude Igbo man. So how can you call it one nation?
Thank you.
How can you call it one nation?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So Zari, I did ask that do you think we will still have a nation? Because clearly all our politicians across all geopolitical zone, across every ethnicity and religion don't feel us. Somehow, both the ones who are involved in this and share the same ideology, and the ones who know but refuse to speak because of what they are gaining, all of them don't feel us. So, are we still likely to have a nation? And then, before you respond to his response on the fact that that division is the only key, the only answer.
Well, I think the question is, do we actually have a nation? I read Chino Achebe's book, There Was a Country. We've never actually had a nation. We've had nations of people that have struggled to pretend that they have a country. So the question is, do we have a country? Do we have a sovereign state? With all of the ethnic nationalities that have come together, do we have a sovereign state in practical terms? I think that's the question we should be asking. Now, how do we basically survive this? Will there be a country, actually? But then we're in a country that is at war and is denying it. A country that is very big with over 200 million people. A country that is so big where the greatest massacres on earth today happen in the country. But the sitting government tells you that everything is okay. So it seems we have a gift for pretending that everything is fine. Okay, we do have that gift for pretending that everything is okay. So we just pretend we are a country, but we are not. A country where in one part of the country, a group of students will have a lecture with their colleague who is a Christian, and after the lecture, because they are not okay with how she spoke, or stood up to a Muslim on a WhatsApp group, they will drag her out, they will lynch her, and while she yet has life in her, they will burn her alive, and they will record it on social media, and they will post it. And they will tell you that nothing will happen to them. And truly, nothing happened to them. This is the Nigeria where we live. It is a Nigeria where a group of people will bounce on a community, and they can kill 400 people. And they will go back to a forest not far away from where they killed the people and stay there. And the military will show up. And the military will rather seize cutlasses, will seize then guns, will seize bows and arrows from the victim community. But they will never go after the killers. In the entire history of the massacres in the Middle Belt, I don't know of a day we had that the military actually went into the forest to wipe out these killers.
They never have?
Because there is... frankly speaking, I don't know. I don't know of such confrontations the way I know it to happen in the Northeast, where they will say they killed Boko Haram here, they killed Boko Haram there. I don't know that in the Middle Belt. I don't know that on the Plateau. I don't know that in Southern Kaduna. I don't know it in Benue. An example is those that killed the people in Benue. I don't know if anybody went after them. Those that massacred people on Plateau, I don't know if anybody went after them. I know the ones that did it in Kaduna, nobody went after them. The reason is because once they are doing the killing, they are unknown. The moment one of them falls victim, some big politicians will come out and tell you that they have killed an innocent header. He was either going to the market or pull back or rallying his cattle and something happened to him. That is what is happening in the Middle Belt. So it's because once the mission is a success, the mission of killing Christians is a success, the gunmen are unknown. As a matter of fact, you could be arrested if you say it's the Fulani Islamist militia. But once they run out of luck, there is somebody that is bold enough to come out and tell you an innocent header has been killed by hostile members of a community. That is the Nigeria we are in. Whether or not the country is left for us to answer to ourselves, but Mali will say every man has the right to decide his own destiny. And in that judgment, there is no partiality. So if we want to deceive ourselves, we could continue deceiving ourselves. But to the question of divide, is the best way to deal with it. There are a whole lot of issues to consider. Perhaps we should look at a referendum such that, wait.
But that is not even constitutional. There is no avenue for that.
So we could look at, but the way the country is, the toll of massacre has gotten to a point where we should ask ourselves, wait, calm down. You people want to practice this kind of lifestyle. You want to slaughter somebody that causes your God. You want to stone to death somebody that behaves this way. You want the government to be responsible for your cattle business. You just go and drive them around, let the government carry the financial and logistic burden for you. Fine. Put yourselves together, like the governors of the states where these things are active. Put yourselves together and agree. And then you can tell the rest of Nigeria, this is how we want to live our lives. So, and the rest of Nigeria will say, okay, fine, you can go and live your lives that way. It's a simple matter. Okay, or we have a referendum and say, if you need to remain in this entity called Nigeria, whether you are from the south or the west or the middle belt or the north or wherever, these are the terms of our marriage. Any part of the country that is not okay with it, we have the right to cut them off. We need to come to that term so that you understand very well that as an Igbo man, the Nigerian government didn't ban selling wine. I took my wine to Kano. Somebody that is wearing a uniform that I don't know where it came from stopped it and destroyed everything. That is called his ban. That is the law they operate in Kano. I was thinking it's our company. But when I go back to my place, I carry one flag or say cessation. And trucks and helicopters and whatsoever will come in and wipe it. So it's a country where certain parts of the country run with absolutely no regards to the sovereignty of the Nigerian state, where certain other countries live under the brutal arm of the sovereignty of the Nigerian state. And that is quite unfair, if you ask me. So I think we may need to sit down on the table and renegotiate our existence, our relationship as a people, if we must, proceed as a single entity.
I would like to ask how we can initiate that conversation, but let me take this call and I'll get back to that. Hello, good evening and welcome. Good evening, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, you're welcome. What's your name, sir? Wait, can you help me turn off the volume of your listening device, please?
My name is MIRACULOUS from United Kingdom.
You're welcome, sir. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I'll begin with what you did to me yesterday. Though I returned to work late and I called, you couldn't pick me. You didn't even send me the link yesterday.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're reporting me in front of the world. I'm sorry. But I hope you know that I don't know anybody's number particularly. Please forgive me.
Okay, but you sent today. You didn't send yesterday.
I send randomly. It's not every time. So if it was when I was back home, I have staff who help. I'm sorry.
And I watched you through YouTube direct from the screen.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
I have a kind of a question to ask.
Okay.
And I will not make a point in the other way around, which is different from what other people are thinking. My question is, with this kind of President Ruhaha and Maya happening in the country, as we look at our country, Nigeria, in a precarious situation, going into bottomless pit or abyss, will our President Tinubu have a kind of a morale and effrontery at all with a conscience to come out contesting again in 2027 with this present situation? That's number one question. How do you think about it? Now, number two is that if the new government, APC, can take Bishop, and they don't want to give us the details about these Tariq people worshippers, how they were rescued.
Did you not hear that we rescued 24 Kebbi girls today? You're late though. 24. Miraculously, they came out.
Miraculously?
Yes.
Okay, but let me look at that Kebbi girls could be through kidnapping. When you look at that eight ones, if one can pick bishop, and because of United States threat, one can state manage and plan. They won't even mind because they are heartless. They don't have it. They're heartless. Killing. Just plan a kind of state manage issues, set it up, a kind of sponsor those kidnappers. So when they kidnap, they easily bring them back to portray before the world that the security is working. I'm thinking that way because if one can fake bishop full of lies, it can as well be planned by the government that it could not be actually the real kidnapper that kidnapped those that it could be that the hand of government, APC government could be on it. That's what I'm thinking. When I look at the condition the United States face by Raymond, that they should see Nigerians do tangible things. Number one, disarming the planet. Another one, Sunday Jackson, releasing Sunday Jackson. And the Trump backed it up when he granted the Fox News interview. That he didn't say anything, they are not serious, they are not proactive, that he's not happy with what Nigerians are doing. They look at what Bayo Nonoga has done at telling us that succeeded, everything is well, giving Nigerians a kind of fake impression that they are going to support, that they are moved, their delegation, and maybe whatever they have done to sell to the United States, that maybe the United States they kind of purchased it all. And it was actually an outright lie. They gave them a serious conviction. They couldn't purchase or buy what all those things that Nigeria went and sold to the United States. Please, can you help me answer this question? If there is any opportunity or any right conscience thinking person, whether he will still come out for 2027 or if he's going to back up and maybe resign over all the situation facing Nigeria right now. Thank you.
Zari. Hello? Zari, are you there? Hell, I would have wanted him to respond. Zari, can you hear us, please? Now only you go fi answer that question because me self, I no go fi answer that question. Well, phone lines are still open, Nigeria 0800817. Okay, yeah. Did you hear the question? Did you hear the question he asked?
Yes, I sparsely heard it because it was a bit sketchy. I don't know whether it was from his end or mine, but if you could summarize it for me, it was.
So he did say that the questioner say, should any right-thinking government think about being elected again in 2027 with all this thing? That what would be the campaign? What would they use to campaign? But let me take this call. Maybe this. Good evening, sir. Mr. Ola from Chicago.
Good evening.
Yeah, welcome, sir. I didn't want to keep you waiting, so I thought to take your call immediately. Welcome, sir.
No problem.
Yes,
I
sir.
hope you can cope with the call.
I'm fine. I'm fine, sir.
Okay. Well done. You did a good job.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, the question you asked the gentleman there, he said that is it going to be a nation? I told you something last week or this week. The answer is no.
Yeah.
To my own thinking, what is going on in Nigeria, if there's no any solution, the best way is to go separately. Let everybody handle his own problem.
And you think we'll still not have issues if that happens?
Say it again.
You think so we're not going to still get issue if we go separately?
There must be issue, but we know ourselves. We will know who is who. We know who is causing the problem if we go on different way. We have it before, we have regional before. So we can deal with ourselves. You see, I told you what happened in Afghanistan. The Americans went to Afghanistan and tried to do whatever they want to do. They end up hand over the country to terrorists. Terrorists are ruling Afghanistan right now. If Nigeria is not taking care, the terrorists will take over. How are they going to take over? If army overthrow the country What next? They will take over the whole state. Except we do something right now. And I'm not sure the politicians are ready to do. All of them are ready to flee the country. What they are waiting for now is if there's anything to share. Everybody is trying to grab whatever they can grab. They know where the country is going to. They know. Only they cannot say it. Everybody is trying to maneuver and take the resources by themselves. I'm not sure Tinubu ready to do anything. I'm not sure. To my own thinking, he may have, but I'm not sure.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
That's what I can say. My precious, take care.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank
No
you.
problem.
All right, Zari. So, would you like go back to that? Could you please go back to that question?
Okay, yeah, you were about summarizing it, then you took.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So he did ask that. Make a cool down.
A reasonable government.
Make a cool down talk for in English. So anybody will be say gets more shame for I. You go feel get mind with the things where they happen for Nigeria now. Still talk say you won't contest election again if the ruling party, that is the ruling people, they go feel get mind do that kind of thing, considering the thing will happen. And waiting they go campaign with.
Yeah, so the question is whether they have shame or not. That's the first thing we should look at. And frankly, the answer is there is no shame. The government that I always tell people that a government that can deny the plight of its masses, as dangerous as a genocide is, a government that is committing resources for an international propaganda of denial of a genocide against its own people is a very dangerous government. So the question of shame is not even there in the first place. This government is okay with sitting where it is while a civil war is going on, and they will be telling the world that it's in the civil war. There's a genocide going on, but they are saying it's not. So already they are looking beyond all that is happening. If you like, let 10,000 people be killed tomorrow. Their own is how do we win the election? How do we remain in power? That is basically how desperate they are. So the measure of their desperation makes them shameless. There is no shame, there is no conscience, there is no honor. It's just a matter of let's do what we want to do, and that's all. Otherwise, if there is any day in Nigeria, you wake up and they tell you that 300 people were killed in one night as a sitting president, the whole country should be shut down. The focus of the military should be that no news will be aired on radio until they kill the people that perpetrated that act. But it's not working. The only thing that would matter now is when there is a political conference, convention, and all of that. For somebody decamping from their party to the main party because that seemed to be his only guarantee of securing a second tenure or winning an election again. So if the shame was there, we can ask that question. But the question shouldn't even be asked because the shame is not there.
Okay, so let me quickly take another call, then I release you. And then as soon as we reschedule the meeting, conversation with Zari Yusuf, sorry, I say Zari, now you had to talk to, with Goldie Gamari, I'll let you know. And then is it possible, I just wish that I could have perhaps footages or something about incidents around your area in Southern Kaduna so that I can add them, I can prepare the clips and add them when she comes, because we need to have an evidence-based conversation and not just a hearsay conversation. I know, you know why that is important, because you're also dealing with a politician. Yes. So if that can happen, please, let's make it happen. As soon as I reschedule the appointment, I'll let you know. But let me quickly speak to Mr. Edwin. Good evening, Mr. Edwin.
Yeah, Precious, good evening. How are you?
I'm not fine. I won't say I did fine. I'm not fine. My head is boss.
What is happening? Is it with the activities of Nigeria or just personal?
The kind of way you hear, if you hear, may you fine. No,
Precious. You know, you've always told us to maintain our mental health. We just doing that. You know, the problems of Nigeria can make one go mad. So let us we are all just trying to provide solutions. Let's just try and see what we can make out of an already failed state. That is what Nigeria is, an already failed state. It is not a failing state or a state that will maybe descend into chaos in the near future. It's already there. And the only thing I want to talk, I've listened attentively to the young man, the man you've been having a word with, you know, he said a lot of things. But one thing stands out.
His name is Zari Yusuf.
Yeah, the Zari Yusuf, the man in the studio there. I would have loved to ask him questions.
He's here.
But,
go ahead.
Pardon?
Go ahead, he's here.
Yeah. You. Okay. What I want to ask him specifically is about the current governor of Kaduna State. He was part and parcel of El-Rufai's administration. What makes the people of Southern Kaduna think that this incumbent governor, Sani Obasani, has turned over a new leaf and is now on the opposite side of El-Rufai? Because I remember too well, El-Rufai was one of those who imported most of these terrorists that have gone rampaging all the villages, annihilating Christians and all others in Southern Kaduna. So what makes them think and believe now, hook, line, and sinker, that they will follow him with all that he's been doing? That is all I just want to know from him. Does he really believe him?
Zari, can you respond?
I would ask you, who told you that the people of Southern Kaduna believe that? It was a journalist from Southern Kaduna that went to do the discoveries of the communities that are still empty, where the Christians have not returned, that the Islamist militia have sacked. So I will have to agree that the people of Southern Kaduna believe, hey, this one is different. No, we don't. We understand what our plight is. But of course, there are hungry people who want to do basically everything. I remember when Rufai was doing his mess, it was a Christian from Southern Kaduna he picked as a figurehead to one Ministry of Internal Security. So when they have Christians up, it is the guy's face that is in front of the camera reeling out government propaganda. So for somebody who's not in the state, it will look like, no, they can't complain now. Is this not one of their own that is doing this thing? It's a strategy of the Islamists, basically. What they do, that's why they have all the likes of Daniel Bola, Rino Mokri, to be running around saying everything. Because when you look at them, wow, these ones are not Muslims now. So they can't actually be lying against their own people. So it's not exactly as if the people of Southern Kaduna believe that there is anything different from what he's doing. Of course, he is not like El-Rufai. In other words, he is not gloating about the killing of our own people. Or whatever it is that he has on his mind, we don't know. I think the only thing that he looks reasonable about is that the hatred that was glaring, that was obviously coming out of the mouth and action of El-Rufai is not in this particular hour. It's not exactly as if that means that we have forgotten or that we are not aware of what's happening to us. That's just what I have to say to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did you answer your question, sir?
Yeah, it does. It was exactly what I wanted to. That was what I wanted to ask. And then finally, Precious,
sir?
the only thing I keep saying over and over and over again, 2027 is around the corner. Because Nigerians are being held by the jugular now by the current administration, and because virtually all our people have been impoverished, there is hunger in the land, insecurity and everything. 2027 elections will be different from what we saw in 2023. But in order to have a semblance of what we might envisage, what we are trying to anticipate, the pressure to do a complete reformation of INEC and then revisit this constitution. In fact, from my own side, from my own perspective, I don't want the constitution revisited. It should be thrown out. A brand new constitution can be made between now and 2027, which Tinubu, if he has the people of Nigeria in his heart, would sign. He can send a bill to them and say, look, we want a brand new constitution. These are the only things that can set Nigeria on the way to prosperity. If we don't do these two things, like as I've always said, we can talk from now till the kingdom come. The solution to Nigeria's problem is a brand new constitution and then the independence of all these other organs of government, the legislature, the judiciary, and particularly INEC, because the quality of people we elect to occupy positions of leadership in Nigeria matters. And if we don't get them right, the system will continue to be derailed by these criminal characters who are holding all positions of leadership in Nigeria at the moment. Those are the only two solutions. Without that, there is no way we are going to end jihadist fundamentalism and all these ones, because these politicians, they imported them, they brought them in. And you know too well that the Islamization of Nigeria, that was what I started with when I first of all appeared on your on this program. I told you point blank then that what is happening, the people who started it is the current vice president is among them. Buhari was the arrowhead. Ali Modu Sharif, it was just their plan to Islamize Nigeria, and that is what is on ground. I told you too that all the forests in the south, I told you then, maybe you remember, I told you they've all been occupied, and maybe you thought I was joking then. This is November 2025. There is no single forest in the south and in the middle belt that are currently not being occupied by these jihadists. They have been planning it. They've been meticulous. They've been very, very articulate in doing it. And if we go to sleep, and then it will be good luck and goodbye to Nigeria. That is my final submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good
now,
night.
Zari,
Yeah.
before we leave, let me, because of the things you said about RFI, I would like to know. Today, I should say you see waiting by Ononoga put up because, say, Peter Obi, say, suggested that the government should have, if he were the government, he would have embraced the US intervention so that the killings of their own people would stop. And then Ononoga said they would never forgive Peter Obi for asking another country to invade their own country, that they will never forgive him. I just had to raise that conversation. Now, considering the waiting they go on now for politics, when people don't they talk, say, the best way Peter Obi can have a chance is if perhaps he would run with someone like Erufai and all that. With this kind of record and things where you talk now, how you see a combination of an Erufai ally with Peter Obi?
I don't see any union between light and darkness, between an angel and a demon, between Satan and any of the saints of God. I don't see any union between that. I have always seen whatever Erufai is doing around Peter Obi as something he has foreseen ahead of time and is trying to use Peter Obi to launder his image. That's all. May or may not know, but Peter Obi, in the 2023 election, he was my candidate.
Okay.
I was one of the persons of the Independent Presidential Campaign Council. And even at this moment that I speak with you, I don't see a politician that is unblemished by the rot locally and internationally like Peter Obi. So that is one man that I believe if he became president, he will not be having people that will say, you remember last week, I had to cover this one for you, so behave this way. Or someone saying, you remember last year, it had to be this way, so behave that way. So his independence as an individual is what.
But how will he penetrate the north? Because it concerns how Ingo use penetrates the core north, and people feel like he needs some fundamentalists like El-Rufai to do that.
It comes from the mistake that people have that you need an Islamist to penetrate the north. It's a lie. What was his last performance in Kaduna State? El-Rufai, I'm talking about, as a sitting governor. What was his performance? The APC actually lost. The only reason the APC is sitting there is because of Buhari and himself to enforce the Muslim ticket. That's all. That was all they wanted to do in Kaduna State. But otherwise, they lost. They were messed up by the PDP. Is there a senator from the APC in Kaduna State? How many of the House of Rep members in Kaduna State are from the APC? So he didn't do well. The mistake people make is that the fact that many fanatics in the north tend to cheer him as a champion, and as a champion not of good leadership, but as a champion that boosts Christians in Kaduna State. People are mistaking that to mean it is a political currency. It is not. I would take the likes of Konkoso more seriously, an older politician. I will take many other people more seriously than himself. So it's a grave mistake that people have been thinking, he will do this. The only thing he is popular for is for what happened to Christians in Southern Kaduna. Mark my words, subtract anybody that is praising him anywhere, subtract what exactly befell Christians in Southern Kaduna, or the imposition of an emirate on the people. Subtract all of that from his performance and ask anybody what he did or what influence he has. He doesn't have any. His influence begins and ends within those Islamic clerics, fanatic Islamic clerics that cheered him for what he did against Christians and nothing else. So his duty, his business with Peter Obi, I believe, is he is trying to launder his image. Possibly it's because he has foreseen the tendency that on this position of, the foreign intervention to end this genocide, you know very well they can't even agree with Peter Obi, because he can't be one of those that would wish for the US to be involved militarily to end the terrorists. Because the bill that seeks to put Nigeria on the CPC does not end with killing terrorists, it ends with also targeting the sponsors of terrorism. And that is basically where a lot of people are fighting hard to make sure that nobody comes.
Because the sponsors go they targeted.
Those with clean hands don't have a problem. But then they have managed to manipulate it to look like it is for the sovereignty of Nigeria that we are standing. And the man didn't say he's coming to fight war with Nigeria. He's saying, stop this terrorist from carrying out this genocide against Christians, or we will have to do it ourselves. If it's a genocide, they have the right, they have the moral and legal obligation to come in. So they shouldn't hang Peter Obi, because long before Peter Obi thought about running for 2023, Nigeria has been on the radar of the United States. We have been on the list before now. It's not the first time. So it's criminals that are trying to make it look as if Donald Trump just had a cup of coffee and he just thought of Nigeria and he says, let's go and attack this country. But let us tell the Christians that they are suffering genocide, even though they are living peacefully. That's what they are trying to make us look like. A relationship where I abuse my wife, I beat her up, I leave her with a swollen face, and then some neighbor says, there's a way the woman in this house screams. I think we need to knock on the door and see what's happening. And then people will gather and tell the woman, Madam, keep your mouth shut. You should cover your husband's secrets. Everybody has their problem. Don't go and expose yourself. And then she'll go and put makeup. That's what they're expecting the Christians to do. To go and put makeup and tell people, no, everything is fine. That basically is what they are saying. That we're living a fine life, and then Pentagon just woke up one day and decided to tell us that we are suffering genocide, and we just picked it up. We want Donald Trump to come and destroy the country. That is how criminally minded the perpetrators of this people are.
Whoa. All right.
So the idea of penetrating the North. Who said Peter Obi has not penetrated the North? We know the results of the last election. Who said he didn't penetrate the North?
Well, that's what some people feel. They feel like he's not doing enough.
That is what those who don't know how the
do you think he'll still maintain the same clouds?
Well, that is a very deep political conversation, because it's a conversation you can't have without considering the polity as it is now, where exactly we are heading.
Yes.
You understand? The entire setting is not even such that you can have an idea of who carries what loyalty or who does not carry what loyalty. The country is at the verge of trying to survive. There's a genocide against the people. So the country is at a very dangerous verge, at the verge of something very dangerous, where nobody is certain of what the future of the country would be. So that has gotten a lot of people less minded about how much any politician is doing to sustain, his support base and all of that. So it's a question that can actually be objectively answered, unless possibly I will just put in sentiment because of my support for it. But in an objective sense, the setup has changed. His base in the middle belt is now in a survival mode because there are people that are looking at, people they bury every day, how they are not sure of going to bed and waking up tomorrow. And so it has shifted a whole lot. Even the man in power is not sure what the outcome is.
The man in power is sure because he has the governors who may do, the other side of the work for him. And that's where there's a problem for Peter Obi. And that's why I thought to ask that question and what you think he'll be like for him.
Yes. What basically is happening with the governor is a case of, it's almost a case of a dictatorship. Everybody will just embrace whatever it is that is there. They can remove me. I mean, Rivers State is reason to say, I've appointed the sole administrator, and that's the end of it. They've tested our resolve and they've passed. But with that, that's true. What the people don't think.
Oh dear.
He runs. He went mad in that.
Your network is breaking up again. It's breaking up again. I just wish I can. It's breaking up. And let me see by the time I'm done talking with T.Y. Danjuma if it would get better. He's my last caller. T.Y., you're my last caller. I come late for church today. Welcome. Good evening and welcome. Please be quick so that I can release Ari. He's been here for 2 hours and it's unfair to keep him longer.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening to your guests. I'm not going to be long. I just because I'm still at work.
Yeah, sorry.
So now I am surprised that the at the statement by credited to Bayo Nanuga, over what Peter Obi said. What Peter Obi said, that they are not going to forgive him for the statement that he made concerning Trump's intervention in Nigeria should they need a rise. And I'm wondering, what kind of statement is that? They're not going to forgive him for what? I mean, what? I don't understand that. What did he do? I mean, it's I don't understand what this country is. They are not going to forgive him. Who is they? And for what? I'm not going to forgive him for. The man is free to express, his opinion. That's his fundamental right. And he has not said anything different from what many Nigerians are saying. This government is incompetent. It has failed. If it wasn't for Trump, and I thank God for Trump, look at the reaction. And now everybody is now like they're up and doing, and we're seeing kidnapped people and so on being rescued or whatever it is, which meant that the capacity, the ability to do that was there. And somebody was not just doing his job. I mean, what kind of nation is this that you would hear all these killings, like chicken, all over, in Plateau, in Benue, and the government feels so unconcerned? What kind of country is that? And then someone is voicing and saying that, the government fails to keep to agreement or to do something, then Trump should. I mean, I'm saying that what is Trump waiting for? This is not a serious government. And should anything happen to Peter Obi, because they say they won't forgive him, what is it? What is it? And Obi should be very, very careful, because Obi hasn't done anything. They cheated him, they stole his victory, and they're saying they won't forgive him for what? And we're trying to douse the tension in the country to make sure that this country moves forward. And he's trying to, add fuel and so on and so forth. They should hold him responsible if anything happens to Peter Obi. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Good night. So, Zari, to end this conversation, I don't know. Let me have your parting shot to this conversation. I'm really heartbroken this night. Is there a way to reach out to some of the people? Are there still people displaced in Southern Kaduna? And is there a way to reach out to them?
Yeah, people are still displaced because anybody that is not in his ancestral home where he lived is displaced.
Absolutely.
And one of the things about the Middle Belt is that a very serious percentage of those displaced don't actually live in the IDP camps. We know there are families that don't want a situation where someone else is taking care of their own, so they are absorbed into homes. In Southern Kaduna, particularly, we have a lot of such. So when they say this is an IDP camp and you go there, the tendency is they may just show up if there's something to share, but they all go back to where they are staying. So many, you go around and you see the barns, the destroyed properties and all of that, the empty houses and all that. But then they don't live in the IDP camp. Some of the IDP camps are frustrated by the government because the government doesn't want anything that shows a sign that there's a humanitarian crisis in the place. I saw someone saying from the World Food Program saying there is hunger in the Northeast, but they don't have an understanding, but they have refused to look at the Middle Belt part of the country because what is going on there is a genocide. So as final thought, I would say to you that the government of Nigeria is trying by all means to cover up a genocide, and that makes it complicit in what's happening. It is beyond politics, it is beyond wanting to return to power, but the international community, by no means whatsoever, must they allow themselves to be deceived by the propaganda that is being championed. It is real people that get killed. It is real communities that get sacked. It is real people that carry sophisticated arms as if Islamist mess. They have plunged into southwestern Nigeria. And I want to possibly their resolve might be what will put an end to this criminals, because I no longer look at the federal government for anything. But the southwestern governors, when they come together, there is a likelihood their position, their decision could steer the governors from the south-south, from the southwest, and possibly put some ripple effect on the politicians in the Middle Belt region of Nigeria to come together and say, hey, we can't let this happen. But for as long as we believe we are all pursuing our individual goals, maybe at any point in time you feel uncertain, so just shift to the APC and be guaranteed your next meal ticket. Then we will definitely be overrun. I think the entirety of the African continent does not have what it takes to absorb refugees from Nigeria. But I can assure you, Nigeria is at a very critical state that will define its future, whether we like it or not.
Thank you. So going back to reaching out to people in Southern Kaduna that are displaced, what are the possible ways they can be reached out, that we can reach out to them?
Well, one of the ways we could reach out to them, of course, there are the material needs, but beyond that, we want to look at trauma healing. We want to look at, I mean, that may look like big, but we would want to see a little setup where maybe with a collection of a few nurses, counselors, we begin to visit some of these places, especially getting to move. I think the bulk of it will come from resettling those people back in their communities. A lot of advocacy is needed. And a lot of support, humanitarian support will be needed to get across to people. There are those that haven't gone back to their homes, and there are those that just live in, tattered scenario because they haven't rebuilt, their homes. So yes, and that would be best done based, when there are on-the-spot assessment in every location to know exactly, okay, where do we focus? Do we focus on what items? Do we focus on what kind of outreach and all of that? But primarily, there is the material support and there's the emotional and support and all of that.
All right.
And there's a lot of advocacy that is needed to get them back home.
All right. So I hope that we could partner and do a lot more in the coming days. Because I want to see how I can reach out to as many people as possible across Benue Plateau and of course Southern Kaduna. And that's why I thought to ask. And the reason I'm saying it here and not privately is so that anybody will touch for mind, make them also contribute. I mean, there's just a little I can do personally, but if there's a collective or joint effort, we'll be able to reach out to more people. So let's hope that we get that happen soon. I would get back to you on that, please. Thank you so much. And as soon as we schedule the other interview, I'll also let you know. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing conversation. You've left my spirit very dampened. You've left my spirit very dampened, but I know that it's for the best reasons. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I said you've left my spirit dampened, like I'm weak. I don't want to say I feel overwhelmed.
Sometimes when I do so, I tell people I wouldn't really say sorry to you because it's actually meant to only touch those who have a heart for it. So if you are feeling that way, then it's a good thing because it will spur you to action and it means we are together in the fight. There are people that just hear it and it's just, they don't care. But yes, it's a good starting point to feel broken and it's a good feeling. Bad as it is, it's a good starting point. And so yeah, we will do a lot together. Hopefully.
Thank you so much. And do enjoy the rest of your evening. Hoping to have more of you too on this platform. Thank you so much. All right, all the best. Good night, bye. Yeah. All right, Nigerians, I'm sorry I couldn't run through the other conversations we had today. Then too plenty, but if you go back again, you will see the headlines for the conversation. Them, I'm not gonna just go through the headlines and again use that one whole body tomorrow. If hopefully we can revisit the very important ones amongst all of these conversations we don't get today. Let's keep doing what we can for Nigeria. See, if you're in the United States, I beg you, press on your reps, your congressmen, your senators, press on them. We're not saying they should come and invade our country. We're just asking that they help us out of the situation. With this kind of testimonies of the amount of people who did die and the severity of the problem, I'm not sure say we're supposed to keep quiet. We have, in fact, they mentioned it during the congressional hearing. Nigeria and I get one of the most successful ethnic immigrants for the United States. Let's use that productively, irrespective of our ethnic and religious linings. This is about saving human lives. Let's be able to seek for as much help as we can, so that we can get the help that is desired to bring this menace to an end. Please, I beg. This is not something I alone can do. I'm also trying my best, but please, let's make we do a combined service now. Let it be combined efforts so that we can, in one voice, get the desired result. We can. The thing is that Nigeria is in such a situation that you don't even know who's next to die. You don't know who they next to die. It's sad. It is sad, and it hurts me that we have to be in this situation, and we have people we call leaders, and then we're busy politicizing the situation. Please, all of you in the diaspora, we can definitely do more by pressurizing the people we have to pressurize, by talking to your reps, your congressmen and your senators, and with evidence. See, no go do propaganda. Evidence-based conversations. The data is all over there. You can look for them. Please, I can supply some. Evidence-based conversation. Let them understand the severity of the situation so that they don't give in to whatever propaganda that is flying around. I love you guys and I appreciate you. I'll see you again tomorrow, hopefully. I'm so broken this evening. I'm almost teary. It's sad that we have to be where we are. But then, protect your mental health. Don't be like me. So, he who worries about Nigerian problem and runs away lives to worry another day. So, please protect your mental health and have a good night. God bless you. Thank you.